I was always thin, small frame. When I was younger, I looked like a mama's boy in a lot of cases, sweet, innocent thing. So things would come at me, people would challenge me all the time. I would get into these predicaments. The first thing you learn is try to talk your way out of it, but then sometimes you can't. When people make a mistake, if you're going to fight, you got to fight to hurt, unfortunately, because if you don't, you're going to get hurt yourself. You want to end the fight as quick as possible. If you're going to jab or push a guy, especially if he's bigger, well, the guy's going to come at you and grab you around the neck and beat you up or knock you out or hit you back, and you're going to lose. It's not like the movies. You got to end it fast. Whether you pick up a tool or you do it with your hands and feet.
One thing I wanted to point out is that like Sifu Douglas Wong School, one thing that separates it from like other Kung Fu schools or the martial arts schools is that it is a fighting school. That is a difference between other schools and not. And I was just curious, how much sparring did you guys do and what was that like?
It was rough. Well, we had pads, but there was a good part of it, a good percentage where you had no pads on, meaning no protection, you wouldn't hold pads. Part of our training, very old school, it was important to know what something felt like, what a punch felt like, what a kick felt like. I tell a story in the book. Carl Totten, he's a very well-known master, very close friends of Douglas Wong. He would come and train us sometimes, but he was like a spider. His arms were, it seemed like 3 times as long as yours, mine. And we would go through dynamic tension. And we would have to go through, through dynamic tension like this. Come up, come out like this. Come up, come down, and do dynamic tension. Square horses in different horse positions, in different stances. And while we were doing that, he'd walk through the line just punching us and kicking us and slapping us across the face. And if you fell down, you not only felt like a dummy, but you looked like a dummy because you'd have to continue doing your dynamic tension. So if you're on your back, your square horse would still be up like this and you'd be doing the dynamic tension. That was the rules until we finished. You shouldn't fall on the floor. You take it. Back in the day when we used to go to tournaments, compete in tournaments when we were a kid. I wish we had cell phones back then because there was so many demonstrations from so many great fighters and great families. They would choreograph something. There was so many of those things happening that I wish we had some of that footage because it was incredible. Demonstrations that we did in Silam Kung Fu. I wish we had footage. Chinatown demonstrations and tournaments. They used to ask us to do demonstrations before, in the middle, and at the end. There used to be a magazine called Karateka. It looked like a newspaper, and you can't find them. They went for 15 years, and you can't find any copies anywhere.